channel, and today we are taking up a new chapter in statistics, which is the second chapter for you Karnataka board students, which is known as index numbers. Students, one of the very important topic. This topic is also covered in economics. You have this topic in bits and pieces in your CA foundation too. The students, index numbers is a very vast topic, a lengthy topic. So pay attention as we do this chapter of index numbers. Firstly, what is this chapter all about? So what is index numbers? What is the meaning of it? This is very important. Students, have you ever heard this word called index before? Yes, sir. Sir, what about stock index, sir? Is that something with related to index number? Yes, that means it has a pool of data. Very good. What else? So other index numbers, the factors. So index means, is it power? No. So index means, is it comparing to something else? Yes, somewhat. So students, to all these doubts of yours, let's search for answers here. Introduction. An index number measures the relative change in price, quantity, value, or some other item of interest from one period to another. Students, whenever you go and ask your parents for money, saying, Mummy or Daddy, give me pocket money of 100 rupees, they usually tell you, you need 100 rupees nowadays. During my time, 10 rupees was more than enough for everything. During my time. So we compare the price value of money, or the price, how much it was before and how much it was now. Time period before and time period now. So this is called as index number, measuring the relative change. How much has it changed over a period of time? For example, before, students, if in case you were given 100 rupees, say 5 to 10 years back, you might have gone shopping and I might have brought 10 things, maybe a packet of Lay's, a new toothpaste for yourself, a new toothbrush for yourself, and some other items. But now when you go out and take 100 rupees, maybe maximum you'll get is one ice cream for 100 rupees. That's it. That means there is a lot of change, be it in price, in quantity, in value, or some other item. So this relative change, measurement of relative change is related to index number. And remember, a simple index number always measures the change of either one variable or more than one variable. Now, what is this index number? Firstly, I told you, students, an index number measures the change, how much a variable changes. So, last time, it was 100%, now it might be 120%. So, how much is the change? 20%. Last time it was 100%, so this time it was 200%. Oh my god, 100% change. Students, do you remember the stock market? We say that only. The Sensex or Nifty has changed around 7% over 1 year. Or now during the COVID-19 pandemic, we say, the stock market has crashed down to 10% compared to last year. Gone down or gone up, percentage change. So remember, index numbers, we calculate the index numbers by finding out the ratio of the current value to the base value, to the present value, when we compare to the previous value. So students, remember these words here. Current value means present value, current value means in the sense present value. Base means the year which we are comparing, the value which we are comparing. For example, this is 2020. Say current value is 80 rupees. Now base value in the sense, maybe we are comparing with 2010. If we are comparing 2010 becomes the base value. If you are comparing with just the previous year, 2019, then 2019 becomes the base value. Now definition wise, what does the definition of index numbers say in your textbook? Students, index numbers are statistical devices. It's a method of statistics. What does it do? It measures changes. Yes. With respect to what? With respect to time, geographical location, or other characteristics such as income, profession, etc. So time, I already told you, students, comparing, how much the value was in 2019 compared to this year 2020. Or maybe income also. Income of one person, how much I am earning now to how much I was earning before. Or geographical location also. The prices of certain goods. The prices of certain goods in my area and the prices of certain goods in some other region. So comparing these prices for all these purposes, we use something called as index number. Now, what are the characteristics of index numbers? Students, index numbers have a lot of characteristics. The first of them is index numbers are specialized averages. These are special formulas because students, in index numbers, not one formula. There are a lot of formulas designed. Okay, a lot of formulas are designed here. That is why these are called as specialized averages. Secondly, remember index numbers, as you see forward later when we look at the formulas, you will understand, students, index numbers are always expressed as ratios. Ratios means, how is it expressed? Obviously, it has to be expressed as ratios, no, students, because you're comparing this year to the previous year, this year to the previous year. So there is a ratio here, okay, comparing the present year to the past year. So there is a ratio. But remember, even though they are expressed as ratios, okay, for the sake of comparison, right, for comparing two things, okay, it is expressed in percentages because it's easy, to tell, okay, the stock market has grown by 5% from the previous year. Sir, my marks in 12th grade have come down by 10% compared to my 11th grade. So comparing, right, we always use the term of percentages, which is easy. Index numbers study the effect of factors that cannot be measured directly. So what is this cannot be measured directly? Students, now imagine it raining, and this year we have got very good rainfall. Last year we did not have rainfall. This year maybe agricultural, the raw materials, when we were doing agriculture, okay, when farming, maybe we have got very good raw materials this time. Maybe there is good cultivation of paddy, maybe there is good cultivation of ragi. So how can I compare, sir? Does the rainfall has any effect on this cultivation of paddy or ragi? This can be done with the help of index numbers. It studies the effects of factors that cannot measure directly. See, directly we cannot measure how much rainfall is affecting on the cultivation of paddy or ragi. But with the use of index numbers, we can actually see the cause and effect relationship between two things. And finally, it facilitates comparison. It's just the continuation of the third point, where it helps you comparing. Now comparing in the sense, not only students comparing rainfall with paddy, you can compare the cultivation. If I take the same example, cultivation of paddy, you can look at the cultivation of paddy and compare it. Last year how much cultivation we had done, this year how much cultivation we had done. Or for rainfall, students, 10 years back how much percentage of rainfall was there, 10 years from now, this year there is how much of rainfall. So all these measurements can be done using the characteristics of index numbers. So these are some of the characteristics. Now uses, what are the uses? Where is index numbers used? First one, students, very important, it is used to frame suitable policies, be it government policies, be it your fiscal policies, be it the economic policies, the statistical policies, the statistical formulas. For all these things, students, index numbers plays an important role. So how does it help the economy, sir? Students, to note our GDP, how should our GDP grow? What should be the GDP growth? We tell, no, GDP growth is 7%, 8%. How does these calculations come? These calculations, students, come from the index numbers itself, because we compare these index numbers over a period of time from this year to last year, how much is the growth. So this index numbers helps us to form suitable policies. Secondly, they reveal trends and tendencies. Students, when we are comparing two data or two variables, they show us a particular trend. Okay, now I told you an example of rainfall and cultivation of paddy. So it shows a trend whether rainfall has effect on paddy or no. So if it has, how is the growth, whether it is a positive trend or whether it is a negative trend, whether it is positive or whether it is negative. So these trends are released. Helps in comparative study, I've already told you it helps in comparison, so let's not deal into the same point over and over again. Index numbers are very, very useful in deflating and purchasing power of money. Students, what is deflation? Deflation means getting the price of money lower, getting lower the prices. You know what is inflation, right? Inflation means the prices are very high, sir. The prices are very high because petrol prices are high, milk prices are high, onion prices are high, vegetable, fruits, everything is high. Deflation means how to cut those costs and bring them back to normal. Okay, how to bring them back to normal. For these also index numbers are used, and also for purchasing power of money. How much can a consumer spend? Okay, all these data is found out by index numbers. And finally, it measures the cost of living in different groups of people. Students, if I tell you an example, okay, the cost of living in a city like Bangalore and cost of living in a city like Mumbai might not be the same, or cost of living in India and cost of living in Dubai might not be the same. It is different for different people. Why, sir? Students, because the factors are based on different. The rent what you pay in India might not be might not be the same rent you pay in Dubai. The salary that you get in India might not be the same salary that you get in Dubai, right? That's the reason, it helps, index numbers helps to measure the cost of living between two different cities or two different people or two different countries. And finally, students, limitations of index number. Every data that we have has certain uses, has certain limitations. So what are the limitations of index numbers? Firstly, they're approximate indicators. Yes, sir, we understand, we know that, there is a comparison, but is this comparison holding good for overall data? No. This is just an approximate indicator. Why is it approximate? Students, we cannot take the entire data for calculation, right? We take from a small sample. We take from a small random sample. Out of it, there are 125 crores of population in our country. We don't go and check with every 125 crores of people. We may be checking with 1 crore of people or 10 lakhs of people, and based on that data, we indicate. So that is why it is an approximate indicator. And the biggest problem is quality is not considered. Students, understand this, okay? 10 years back, maybe a mobile phone, okay, the expensive mobile phone might have costed 30,000. Now the same brand's mobile phone today might cost you 1 lakh rupees. And you might tell, oh my god, the prices of mobile phones in the past 10 years have increased by 70,000. Yes, it is increased, but is the quality considered? Maybe the raw material is very good this time. Maybe there are very good features this time. Maybe it is touch screen and it has a lot of features. It has 24/7 charging, good battery pack, everything. All these qualities might be there. So are these quality considered? No. We only tell, okay, the price is increased. The quality is not considered while calculating index numbers, and this is one of the major limitations. Then index numbers can be misused. So how can it be misused? Students, you can show the index numbers to someone, so the data to someone, and say, oh, look at this, the price is increasing itself. That means it's a good time to invest in the business. You might tell that, or you might tell, okay, the quality is coming down, the prices are coming down. That means this brand might not be good. So all these assumptions can be built around, and that is why index numbers can be misused as well. Difficult to assign proper weights. Index numbers, there is a big problem, and that problem is to assign weights. Students, this is especially for cost of living index numbers. I told you, we saw in the previous point where index numbers help in, finding the cost of living between two groups of people. But students, still there, it might be difficult to assign proper weights. See, for example, if I'm comparing the cost of living between a person living in Bangalore and person living in Mumbai, it's very difficult for me because his rent is different. Okay, the rent still can be managed because based on the city. But what about other factors? Like maybe this fellow has a lot of savings, the person who is in Bangalore, but the person who is in Mumbai likes partying. Okay, so he spends a lot for partying, whereas this fellow might spend a lot for buying books or reading books. This person person A might spend a lot of money on clothes, whereas person B might not spend money on clothes, might spend money on children's education. So the weights are different for different people. So understand, index numbers, it's difficult to assign proper weights, and different formulas give different answers. Now you might be wondering, sir, that means index number doesn't have one formula, is it? No, students, in index numbers there are a lot of formulas, and what kind of formulas are there? We will look forward later. Okay, so remember, these are the limitations, and the last limitation we saw was different formulas give different answers. Okay, students, so we have studied here the introduction of index numbers today. Then we went through the characteristics of index numbers. We also saw some of the uses of index numbers, and we've seen limitations of index numbers. So students, this becomes the first part of index numbers. The next part of theory will be taught in the next video, and I will see you there once again. Take care. Bye bye.